Welcome. I'm Tania of the Sacred Earth, and this is the story of the Black Stones, one of the sacred earth essences. But in my journey of making these, it's now known as the Black Stones and White Lights. And for the record, today is the 23rd of May, 2023. Back in February, I spent 10 days recording the stories and the meditation transmissions of twice a day of the essences. And the first one was the Black Stones. And that was on the 3rd of February, 2023. And I tried 3 times, and the information just wasn't coming through. And so I was told to wait. And as I went through this process of recording all the other essences, I started to see the journey that I had been on as I'd been embodying this body of work. And of the 5 years, that it's taken to do that. And the Black Stones was the 4th essence that I made. It's the only gemstone essence. Gemstones and other stones have been involved in co-creating some of the others. And it was made at a very sort of potent time. There were 3 different black gemstones used in 3 separate crystal bowls over a period of a week. And it was a very strong time of Pluto, so Pluto's that, the sort of planet associated with Scorpio. So it's really that sort of strong, deep, transformational time, but also connected in with Virgo. So Virgo is a very earthy sign. So she's like associated with Mercury, but also Ceres, who's like the corn goddess, right? The goddess of the harvest. So very that earth related. So during this process of those 10 days, it started to become more apparent to me that there was more that needed to come in through this essence. And so I was then told that it was the white lights. So these black stones, which are very much of the earth, needed to be brought together with the white lights, which are very much of the sky, of source, or whatever. So bringing these 2 energies together, a little like yin yang. So it's that the dark and the light, the masculine and the feminine. And so that became more apparent, but I needed to sit with it. I was just told just to sit with it, to go through this process and just to wait. And it started to become clear to me that today would be the day. So the 3 black stones that were used to co-create this, I have always been told that they were never to be available as a separate essence. At least that may change in the future, but they were always going to be used together, but they needed to be made separately, so not as a blend, so that they could then be brought in individually to sort of achieve their own harmony. And what else I have been told more recently is that this is my signature blend. It's the only one that's going to, at the moment, that is going to be available as a room and aura spray. And by being my signature blend, What I mean is that that Scorpio energy is very much about spirit. So it's about spiritual law, okay? And Virgo is about earth. So it's about natural law, okay? And the two together need to be balanced and in harmony. So if you think of, like, those of you who are familiar with crow medicine, that the crow looks at something first with one eye and then with the other eye and creates the balance. And my personal astrological chart, I'm a Libra, so my sun sits between Virgo and Scorpio, and I have a stellium in Virgo and a stellium in Scorpio, which makes up a yod, which is like an arrow. Okay, it's sort of straight, but at the so at the back, at the opposite my sun, I have Saturn in Aries. Okay, so Aries is about the new, it's this pioneering energy, it's a fiery energy, but Saturn is the lord of time and structure. So really it's about structuring the new. So this whole essence brings together those dynamics of sacred law, natural law, finding that balance, and creating the new structure. Okay, so these black stones, even though they are of the earth, some of them have come through the cosmos, some of them have come from meteorites. We have there's Apache tears, there's black tourmaline, and there's tektite. So they all come from very, very different sources. So they all have their own stories, okay? But together they represent that really deep earth energy. They represent the mystery that we are walking through, the shadow, okay? So again, that crow medicine is about the shadow and the shining, and how we bring the balance and embrace both. And then we have the white lights. So there's, the starlight, the pearlescent ray, and the white fire, that all sort of come in. So there's so many different aspects of light and white light, and so many different frequencies. And so they come together and really support with that shadow work, or really helping us to sort of embrace that mystery and allow that in our life. So we have the clear seeing and we have the clear knowing, and allowing both. And this is what this really supports. There's also like this protective aspect to that. So the divine masculine is very much, a protector, and the divine feminine is, in her own power, but she can be more fully in that power if that divine masculine is holding space for her to do that. And so I don't mean protection in a disempowering way, okay? I mean it. This is the union. This is about bringing those two together in that harmony, so that they work together in this, shifting. So again, going back to the yin yang idea of these two elements, but it is duality. And I'm always interested about yin yang, what does yin yang sit within? What's outside that? What holds the yin yang to enable that fluctuation of these two energies to be able to move and shift and work together? Because they can be polarizing. So what enables them to work together? And part of our work in the world and with ourselves is to really be able to look deeply within ourselves and look at the things that we're uncomfortable with, look at the things that we resist, accept things about ourselves that we don't particularly like or aren't particularly proud of or might be ashamed of, and forgiving ourselves so that we can move through this. And this is what this essence supports. It helps to bring that clear seeing to where instead of the clear knowing, there's confusion, and maybe bring that knowing to where, things are a little bit foggy and aren't clear. So that's why this essence is available as a room spray and a mister, and I can tell you it's really powerful. That time when I took so it's a little bit like homeopathy, okay? So that time when I took on that first day, and I took the drops as I was sort of integrating them, trying to integrate the transmission and really bring that out, so I was embodying them, I was plunged into a depression, and I knew it was that, so I was able to be with it. But for me as well, it was bringing up the aspects of my shadow that I needed to work with and be able to bring in my own experience and tools so that I could walk through that. And right at the beginning of this series of recording the transmissions and meditations and stories, that I was put in that situation because when I started, when I was first called to co-create these essences, 5 years ago, I was in a very different place then than I am now. So it also reflects my journey and where I was and where I have come to. And that journey is the journey of us all. So it's a journey of 5 years from just before my 50th birthday till now, which is just before my 55th birthday. So there's a lot of fives coming up right now. And I'm sure some of you out there will know more about numerology than I do. But that 555 seems very, very significant at the moment. In the room Mister and Spray, we continue with the 3 theme as I've been guided. So the base is a mixture of witch hazel, orange flower water, and rose flower water, and it's with 3 essential oils: bamboo, black pepper, and silver birch. Bamboo is a really, really good purifier. I'm sure maybe some of you have used those little sachets that you can get, I think, as room deodorizers, and they're good in wardrobes. I know shamanically, when we do room clearing, it's a bamboo stick we use because it doesn't, that kind of energy, that dense energy doesn't stick to it. It's self-cleaning. Yeah. So it's very, very good at shifting any kind of energetic dust that might be around. Okay. Black pepper is really good. It's a bit like the black stones. Again, it's getting really deep into something, getting into the core of something. So that Pluto energy again, and really helping it to sort of shift out so that everything else can do their work to the optimum. And silver birch, and I just love silver birch. I'd like to say she's one of my favorite trees, but they're all my favorite really. But silver birch is very much about new beginnings, and she brings that light, into the forest, into the woods. So she represents that.